We're giving real estate entrepreneurs from across the country the chance to pitch their property investments to our panel of deal-making experts.
I'm a wealth strategist and mentor that helps people become financially independent.
Real estate investing has changed my life, and I'm here to help thousands of others do the same.
One real estate deal can change your life. I want to be able to provide the funding from those who really have the drive to make an impact in the communities.
I'm an original shark from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and this is for real estate investors helping each other and other real estate investors, and this is helping them succeed by potentially funding their deal.
If we can inspire somebody to go out there and take action and realize if they can find a deal, there is a way to fund it.
I'm going to take any property that needs a little bit of work, a little bit of polish to it, and basically make it better for the next family to move into.
I think people come to us, they present a deal, we're either in or we're out. We're going to do it live, and we got to make deals that make sense.
If your seller was willing to owner finance the deal to us,
Wait a second. We're going to make a deal right now?
well, why not? That's what we're here for.
Okay.
This is Funding Face-Off. The first deal presenter to enter the deal war room is Michael.
What's up, deal makers? I am Michael McDonald. I am excited to be here. I'm a small town Nebraska guy, born and raised, lived there for 26 years. Lincoln, Nebraska is a great market because it's good affordability. There's a lot of opportunity for stability in rents and all that. And so excited to showcase a specific property. It's located in Southeast Lincoln. Fantastic neighborhood. We were able to pick up this property under contract at $65,000. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1176 square feet. We're gonna add a bedroom to increase value. And then after that, we're gonna go ahead and stabilize it. We're gonna put $38,000 into it. So we're gonna be all into this deal for $103,000. And today, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to invest $105,000 at 10% interest to join me in on this deal.
So I like your energy. Thank you for bringing it. And can you tell me, in the $38,000, how are you adding a bedroom? Is this like breaking out a wall, or is it converting an existing garage? How do you do that in that small of a budget?
Yeah, the best part about it is, my business partner, he's been in the business for 20 years. And so with the market being a little bit on edge, I would say, we're taking all things into consideration. And one of the things that we have in our tool belt is relationships on the contractor side. So we're actually able to put a bedroom in there for $5,000. And to answer your question specifically, yeah, we're gonna take a window and then we're gonna dig out an egress and then convert that into a 3rd bedroom.
All for $5,000?
Yeah.
An egress window alone goes for $6,500 after it.
Go after it.
I'm telling you. $6,500 is what an egress window goes. How are you going to get a whole room done?
Before we get into costs, let's just assume those numbers are right. You said you're going to be all in at 103 and you want 105 from us. You
Right.
also stated you wanted to build relationships. Well, I'm kind of old-fashioned. You got to take me out to dinner before you get a kiss. I mean, we're going to have more money in it than the total project.
Cowboy is looking pretty today, so.
Yeah, well, you have a good point. So closing costs and then, just the buffer, if the egress window does cost an extra $1,000, we're very confident in the budget we have, the scope of work, and the contractors that we use. For us, it's one of many deals. Like I said, we've done a couple hundred, so I'm looking at this as a long-term, so it's a valid point.
Yeah, I like the 3rd bedroom idea because that definitely does push it up. So I'm still not understanding the egress part. So is this in the basement that you're making it?
Correct.
Okay, so gotcha. And
Yep.
you get to count that square footage as the value then because you've made it into a legal bedroom?
Yeah, so we can definitely include that as an additional square footage.
Okay.
Now, we're not banking on that. The house as it sits without the 3rd bedroom is probably pushing the 200 range. So we're only giving credit for an extra $10,000 to $15,000 on the upside.
How much square footage will that add?
It'll probably add an additional 700 to 800 square footage for the basement because we'll finish out the whole
basement.
Yeah, we'll finish the whole basement.
Having more square footage allows you to sell for more. Not all cities allow below grade space to be included in the square footage total, so this is a big selling point.
So your rehab costs are $38,000, correct?
That's right.
How much do you actually think you're going to spend in the basement alone?
I think
700
5,000.
square feet to remodel and renovate from scratch. It's unfinished, I presume?
What's that?
Is it unfinished basement?
It's partly finished right now.
Are you demoing anything out, or are we reusing anything?
We'll probably just do the bedroom with egress and keep everything else looking pretty clean and fresh. It's not gonna go above and beyond. That's the thing for the exit strategy on this property. It's gonna be a good long-term property for many years to come.
Sure.
So we're not gonna overdo it. We do them up nice. We don't want things breaking down, but we're not gonna go put, the crazy all above and beyond.
Is the basement area, that area, is it currently heated and cooled already, or?
It is.
Okay.
Yep.
Are there drain tiles?
Drain tiles redirect water away from the house and are necessary to have in homes with basements to prevent water damage.
Yes.
You looked a little shy on it.
Yes.
You weren't sure.
There definitely is.
Well, now you go to definite? A minute ago, you had no idea.
Like I said, the good news is because I'm in Vegas, my project manager, my business partner, they're boots on the ground. So in order for us to do the volume that we do, somebody has to have their eyes on the marketing and stuff, and that's my main thing. So speaking to the rehab on the drain tile, I'm obviously doing the best that I can, but that's just kind of the dynamic of our business.
I appreciate that answer. That's honest. So let's say we do decide to make the investment. How do we get our money out and when?
That's a good question. So typically our rehabs, something like that's going to be 3 to 5 months. I'm guessing more along the range of 5. Depending on lending with banks, we usually say 6 months.
Okay.
That's conservative because then we can go to the bank, get that thing appraised. They like the seasoning, so then we can get that cashed out.
Okay.
So we're not really worried about the ultimate retail value of $215. You're going to keep this thing anyway.
Would like to keep it long term.
So our exit is just your ability to
Refinance
it.
That's right. Yep. So yeah, it's the capital to fund the purchase, the renovation, and then we'll get your cash out as soon as we refinance.
Sure.
Let's recap Michael's deal. He is asking the deal makers for $105,000 for 10% interest on their money. His plan is to refinance the house with a new value added and pull out the deal makers' money. Michael's profit would be around $110,000, with the deal makers netting $10,500 of that profit.
All right, Michael. The deal makers have put the screws to you, but you stood the test. So we'll see you at the mentoring moment.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I am 99% confident. If they don't pick this deal, I just don't understand what I'm missing, honestly. So I'm pretty confident.
The next deal presenter to enter the deal war room, hoping to pique the interest of the deal makers, is Brandon.
Hello everybody, Brandon Basic from Dallas, Texas. I'm incredibly excited to be here. I've been in real estate since about 2008. I was flipping mobile homes to mobile home park owners. I got into flipping houses. Fast forward over 12 years, I have flipped over 1,100 houses, predominantly in Dallas-Fort Worth. Our whole goal is to buy as many houses as we can to hopefully take care of our family forever. We had someone actually reach out to us and they said, I have a 2012 built property in Florida and you can buy it for $200,000. If you can find a house in Florida for under $400,000, it's a good deal. And if you can buy a house that's less than 10 years old, that's a fantastic deal. So it's built in 2012, it's a D.R. Horton neighborhood, and it's a cosmetic flip. It doesn't get any easier than this. We're not moving walls, we're not replacing roofs, the windows are original. It's a slam dunk deal, and I'm incredibly excited to present it today.
Awesome, Brandon. So tell us a little bit about the rehab budget and how you came up with those numbers.
So having rehabbed over 1,100 houses, I can look at pictures and you just kind of know now. The roof's in good shape. I did have a roofer go and actually look at it, so there's no hurricane damage, there's no storm damage. It's just a cosmetic, there's no broken windows. We are gonna replace the HVAC, so I'm budgeting about $7,000 for that. All new cabinets, but I'm not putting the cabinets, I'm not moving any walls, I'm putting it in the exact same position that they were in. We are gonna do a nice white style shaker. We're gonna do 42-inch tall cabinets instead of 36, which makes it a little nicer. And what makes the deal a little difficult is we don't wanna over rehab it because the neighborhood's so new. There's not a people aren't putting marble floors down. They still have the brown cabinets and some brown floors.
A common mistake for new rehab investors is they over-improve the house for the area and then don't see enough return on their investment.
So we're gonna go in there and do our nice ARV remodel, and we have an appraisal on it as of right now for $375,000. That was done by an appraiser less than 30 days ago. So we're not gonna hope for appreciation, but we're very confident that if we did flip the property, we'd probably list it at $399. Our goal is to buy and hold it. We are gonna watch and see what interest rates do. If they do keep ticking up, insurance is a little bit more expensive in Florida. So it's about double what it is in Georgia and Alabama. So we wanna make sure if we keep it as a rental that we're gonna cash flow about $450 to $500 a month. If we can't do that, that's when we would actually flip the property.
Awesome.
Brandon, where is Elkton, Florida at? What's the nearest kind of metro area?
Yeah, so it's about 10 miles from St. Augustine, Florida, and it's about 45 minutes south of Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
So, but it's 10 miles from the beach, so it's still a great location, and it's not that close to the water, but it's close enough to the water.
Yeah.
So let's get to some important shit, huh?
Okay, let's do it.
So how many projects you currently have going on in how many states?
So I have 39 rehabs going on right now. 80% of those are in Alabama. I bought one yesterday in North Carolina, and I'm winding down 2 in Augusta, Georgia. I have 1 more left in Macon, Georgia. So we're at the end stage of the rehab on a lot of these. And in fact, this morning I was talking to my project manager, and we were actually closing out a house in Huntsville, Alabama.
You have one project manager?
I have one project manager.
And he just sits on planes?
He's driving a lot. He's a road warrior.
That makes no logical sense.
I was a road warrior.
Yeah.
I covered 11 states and had up to 40 projects going at a time.
So you see this guy as a risk.
The guy will burn out.
Yeah.
If
you don't help him, you don't give support.
If you don't help him, this is more advice for you. It's not this particular deal. Just if you don't help him take some of that off of him, he will burn out.
On this deal, Mike, did you have any last thoughts on the deal?
No, it was just tell us about the deal. You said you want to keep this as a rental, so how do we get our money back?
Yeah, so it would be a rate and term refi after we're done.
Yeah.
So my goal is, the property's purchased for $200,000. We had to take this down very quickly. Mm-hmm. The seller called us, and in 3 days we had to buy the property. We own it in cash right now. Okay, the construction cost, to answer your question earlier, is about $55,000. Okay, so all in on costs of $255 to $260. We have an appraisal at $370. That's a 68 to 70% deal. And in today's market, that's a very good deal. And so if our goal is to do a rate and term refinance at about 75 to 80%, you would get your monthly interest payments. So that's where I feel that you're protected. If something went terribly wrong, if I was hit by a bus, you're gonna have well over $100,000 of equity in the property.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're about to get bit by a dog.
And when do you plan to refinance that deal?
Usually within 6 months is our goal.
Okay.
Let's recap Brandon's deal. He's asking the deal makers to invest $255,000 for 10% interest on their investment. His plan is to refinance the house with a new value added and pull out the deal makers' money. Brandon's profit would be around $120,000, with the deal makers netting $25,500 of that profit.
All right, thank you. You stood the test of the deal makers. We'll see you at Mentor Moment.
Thank you, guys. The deal makers, they needed a Snickers today. They needed something. They were on fire. So I was trying to remind them, just remain optimistic. This is a very good deal. I have a track record, and that's something that can be counted on.
Last to enter the deal war room, hoping to strike a deal today, is deal presenter Jared.
So my name is Jared, and I'm a real estate investor based out of Utah and Idaho. I flip homes on a regular basis. I've done over 70 homes over the last 23 years, and I have rental properties, and I have a property management company as well. All right, so I've got a property that's located in Midvale, Utah. This particular property I think is a great deal, and it's a great deal because of the way that I'm able to acquire the property. So the property itself is worth about $503,000, all fixed up. And I used conservative numbers so that I could protect my lenders. So the property could sell for as much as $532,000. The property has a repair budget of about $80,000. That repair budget's a little higher than what I would normally do using my own crews. I normally know how to get those numbers down a little bit, but I normally budget for a higher rehab budget when I'm going to take a property and bring it to you as the deal makers. And the reason for that is if for some reason I defaulted, you may need to hire a retail person to come in and clean up my mess after the fact. So in addition to that, the property itself is a 5-bedroom, 2.5 bath, single family home. I've got strong comps that are in the neighborhood. It's a 1968 Rambler brick style home. I've already flipped 3 other homes in that particular neighborhood. And so I know the performance of the neighborhood itself, and it lends itself to very low risk for you as an investment opportunity. Because of the connection that I have with the seller, which I've been managing this property for years, as I own part of a property management company that's based out of Utah, we're able to pick the property up. He's just wanting to liquidate it and not do the repairs as he's in the twilight era of his life. And so he's willing to just turn the property over to me. And I have 2 options. The option that I'm bringing to you today is he's willing to do seller financing where I take over the existing loan. I just am looking for the funds to go ahead and put together the repair budget so I don't have any out-of-pocket expense. But because the loan-to-value ratio of what the comps are in the area are so low, I think that this is a deal that you would want to jump on.
Tell me about the rehab, my man.
All
you know
right.
what I'm here for.
So the rehab itself, the roof is it's got a single layer roof on it, so we can actually kind of clean up some of the shingles and do a recover, and that'll meet code in the area. The property has had some improvements on all the windows. There's a couple of broken windows from the rental property. So the rental, you know how renters kind of don't take care of the property the best way, and as an older gentleman that owned the property, he was kind of a slumlord. I'm gonna have to do everything in there. I'm gonna do paint and flooring. There's hardwood floors that can be refinished in the front. We're gonna need to go ahead and do an updated kitchen throughout the whole house. The sold comps have granite countertops and tile backsplashes. So to match those comps and their condition, I'm gonna need to go through and upgrade that kitchen a little nicer to hit that comp mark of at least 503, it may be closer to the 536 that I think it'll sell for if it's done well.
And it's rented month to month currently, correct?
So it is currently a long-term lease that has defaulted into a month-to-month lease. And so we're able to go through and give that guy 30 days notice and get him out.
Is that tenant currently paying?
The tenant is currently paying, pays on time every month. His rent is grossly low because of mismanagement from the existing owner. It's one of the reasons I think he's probably looking to liquidate it.
Okay.
You said the owner is going to finance this back. For us, you're looking to fund the rehab. And is your exit strategy to sell this or to keep it as a rental?
So my main strategy right now is I'm a little liquid shy because I've got 4 other projects running on, and my intent is to go ahead and sell that, use that, and then reinfuse my other transactions.
And how long do you think it would take for us to get our bait back?
I would project 6 months. From start to finish. The reason I primarily say 6 months is we're going to be running into the November, December, January season where things slow down. Less shoppers out in cold weather, so my hold times are going to be a little bit longer, and that'll put us right back into February, March for the listing time, which is when people get reinfused, some tax money comes back in, and they're ready to buy.
Let's recap Jared's deal. He is asking the deal makers to invest $80,000 for 10% interest on their money. He's hoping to sell the house for $503,000. After all costs, he stands to profit $234,000, with the deal makers netting $8,000 of that profit.
Good. Well, looks like you have made it through this round. We look forward to seeing you at the mentor moment.
All right. You know, it could go either way. If I haven't done a good enough job delivering to them my ability to get this project finished and completed and reduce their risk, there's actually a really good chance that they might not fund it at all.
When we return, we'll hear what the deal makers have to say about the 3 deals presented. 3 strong real estate investment opportunities have been presented. Now, let's hear what the deal makers have to say as we enter the mentor moment.
Welcome back. We're here at the Mentor Moment, and this is our opportunity to share some thoughts that we have that will help you in your business. So we're going to start with Cowboy Joe.
Brandon, love your energy and enthusiasm. There's no doubt of your experience. And I was a little hard on you, but it's because I do like you.
Thank you.
And I've been there. When you start expanding like that, don't skip a zero. My granddaddy built a massive fortune, but he started with 1 cow, then went to 10, and he told me never skip a zero, because you end up creating a problem that you can't handle, and if you don't get out in front of it, I know you're gonna have problems with your project manager.
John.
Michael, man, you're on the whole state. You're doing stuff all over your state. That's awesome. And I believe you're going into other states as well. that's adjoining states. That's great. You've got a lot of energy. You seem to have a great team. And one thing I liked about what you presented was that you have a lot of equity in the deal. There will be a lot of equity. You're not trying to pitch something that's 80% of the value. So you appear to know your numbers pretty well. We were concerned about the egress window and the cost there, but you said you have done several of those recently, so costs can vary, different parts of the country or whatnot. Yep. But you seem to be headed in a great direction, and excited to see you keep moving forward and grow.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Jared, some of our feedback was we really like you. You've been in the business for a long time. Your deal has a lot of equity in it. You just have to be careful that words matter.
If for some reason I defaulted, you may need to hire a retail person to come in and clean up my mess after the fact.
Let's just assume we're never going to fail. We all have problems as real estate investors, but from folks that are maybe going to fund your deal, we don't want to hear that you're already thinking about, if we get divorced, here's what that'll look like, right? So just be careful with your words.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that feedback.
All right, so now comes the hard part for us, is that we need to eliminate one of you.
Who will it be? Michael asking for $105,000, Brandon asking for $255,000, or Jared asking for $80,000. Whose deal have the deal makers decided is dead?
Jared, your deal is dead to us.
Well, hold on.
What do you mean, hold on?
So, Jared, we do have one other option here.
Yeah.
If your seller was willing to owner finance the deal to us.
Wait a second. We're going to make a deal right now?
Well, why not? That's what we're here for.
Okay. All right.
Would you be willing to wholesale that deal to us for $50,000?
Ooh,
yeah, my man.
I think that profit margin on that from 255 to 6 is almost $200,000.
You see, like you mentioned, you had other projects, so we're looking to put some money in your pocket for those other projects, and we can also maybe look at funding some of those other projects, and you just turn this deal over to us.
If anybody wants to partner with me, maybe 50-50, maybe we do something there.
Yeah.
So maybe we do an equity split or share.
Well, I still say your deal is dead to us.
All right.
And now I agree.
All right, thanks.
Well, you've made it. Be ready. When we come back, we're going to have the funding face-off.
With Jared's deal off the table, Brandon and Michael are left to compete for the deal maker's investment in the funding face-off.
Well, here you are, the funding face-off.
Let's review what's left on the table. Michael is asking for $105,000. He's offering them 10% for the year, which is $10,500 for their investment. On the other hand, Brandon is asking for $255,000, which is a little higher risk. He's also offering 10%, so they would make $25,500. Who will offer more and sweeten the pot for our deal makers? Let's find out in the funding face-off.
Michael, you're up first.
Okay, so initially I had offered you guys 10%. You know what? After talking to you guys and getting to know you more, again, I mentioned this is a long-term game for me. I want to offer 12%. I want to increase that. That's not out of line by any means for what people are paying, and so I want to do that, but also offer the first opportunity to fund the next 3 deals. And we'll see what that does.
Awesome. Okay, competition's getting tough here. What do you got?
I will sweeten the spot, and I'll do a 60% LTV loan. So I will put 30 grand of my own money in the deal. So I'm asking for $230,000. So you're basically going to give me $30,000 of rehab. You'll fund the purchase, and I'll put the additional $20,000 to $30,000 in rehab as well at 10%.
All right, Michael, you're going to sweeten the pot for us?
Uh-oh.
Yes, so...
How much money are you going to put in the deal?
Listen, we try to keep our capital deployed. We have an operation that we're running with team members to use our capital. We have plenty of money in deals. I would be willing to do that, but I think the deal makers are going to like something else that I'm going to offer here. So what I would like to offer is the 12% on the money of the project. Once we refi out, because we're going to do hundreds of deals together, I want to give you guys an opportunity to pull some equity on that property for the long-term life of that loan. And I'm willing to offer 25% equity in the deal.
That sounded really
That sounds
good.
nice.
That sounded really good.
We would get paid, and we would get paid on that when you refinance, or on an ongoing basis we would have ownership in
Yep.
that.
So we would stabilize it. We'd cash the original investment out if we want to keep a loan on the property, and then we would do 25% of all of the distributions of the property
Beautiful.
for the life of the loan,
That's good.
forever.
All
You say
right.
for the life of the loan, so if you eventually sell the property, we would have 25% ownership in that as well.
Yep.
All right, gentlemen.
Brandon, if we were, from a long-term perspective, it may be difficult to offer a line of credit just because we haven't worked with you.
That's
Could we
fair.
do it on the first deal where you could give us 20% equity in that deal?
Let's test the waters.
I don't believe my business partner would go with that as well. It's a good deal. If we were flipping it, I don't think I'd have an issue in that at all, because a lot of times when you're borrowing money at 10 to 15%, you are giving up usually about 10 to 15%. And I don't want to promise something I can 100% back.
Yeah.
And so for that reason, I'm going to say no.
Okay. Well, I think that we can make an offer here. Michael, you have a done deal. Congratulations.
Yes.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Really what I learned is, you can't be too greedy when it comes to starting a relationship. It's going to lead to many more opportunities down the road.
If you want to present a deal, find out how you can help fund a deal, or find out more about our deal makers, go to fundingfaceoff.com or find us on social media. Thank you for joining our impact investing movement.